This is the Hard Mark Podcast, starring Eric Donaldson and Ryan Murphy.
Hey everybody, welcome to yet another fabulous, that's the word I'm looking for, fabulous episode of the Hard Mark Podcast. My name's Eric Donaldson, and with me today is Ryan Murphy. Ryan doesn't get any fun names today. Ryan, would you care to explain to the audience why you don't get any of your cool nicknames like the Talent or anything like that?
I'm only investing 2 hours in this podcast instead of 4.
That's one reason. That there's others too, but I can share them if you'd like.
Is it that I didn't make it out for this podcast?
That would be another portion of this as well. Yes, there's at least probably 2 more portions, but
late scheduling changes.
Yes, late scheduling. That's a very diplomatic way of saying you told me an hour before we were set to start that you were not actually going to be coming over, and this was going to be a virtual session.
I want to do my section in here. We never discussed coming and doing a in-house podcast.
What?
We never did. I would have known. I think we maybe discussed it like vaguely, but there was no like specific details wrapped into that. So just for our audience.
That's horse pucky. Like the last 2 or 3 episodes, all you've done is complain about these virtual sessions and how you don't like doing them. And like, okay, next time, Eric, we're going to do it in person. And so that's the MO that I was operating under this whole time. And then you spring it on me last minute, like I'm going home.
I figured like maybe the like having to be done at a specific time was the thing, but like I had no idea about coming over for this podcast.
You made it very clear to me that you wanted to do them in person moving forward, and so I was accommodating that.
Yes, and that is true.
Unlike you, I listen when you speak, Ryan.
But we never like put this on the calendar as an in-house. Although
put it on the calendar. What? We don't have a shared calendar app or anything like that. We're not fiancés. We just informally speak. And when you said I don't want to do it virtually anymore, I'm like, okay, we'll do them in person moving forward.
Okay, I understand your point.
I feel that there's a but coming.
But I think you're wrong. But I get it. So the next time we do this, as I mentioned in my text message, I am totally down to have an in-house, I guess, pending on how this COVID stuff goes.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. If it's safe to do so, we will be doing them in person, socially distancing, of course. I do have a very extensive recording studio here at Hedonism 4. We have plenty of space, but if it's not safe to do so, we're not going to, put ourselves at risk and the risk of our program. We can do them virtually as long as we need to, but it's always good to, be in the room with one another.
Right. Yeah.
So okay. Well, I'm glad we cleared the air on that. And just so you're aware, I know that we can't see each other right now. We don't have the webcams on, but I just want to let you know, no hard feelings. I'm not going to be harboring any grudges over this.
You called me at work and you were like, what the fuck?
You make that sounds more rage-filled than it actually was.
I mean, I would say it was fairly rage-filled.
To be fair, my wife overheard that conversation. She was like, have you ever been that mad at Ryan before? And I didn't think that I was being mad. I just thought I was being direct and basically being like, what the fuck? I thought we had an arrangement where you were going to be coming over, that sort of thing.
I don't like when people are direct with me. I want people to give me a break for whatever thing that I do that is.
You want people to tiptoe around issues and kind of drag their feet, be like, oh well, maybe next time, Ryan. Well, I just thought we could cut to the quick, cut out all the bullshit, and get right down to brass tacks.
Yeah,
business partners.
And that's what you did. That's why, that's why I felt the response, was what it was. But fair enough. And
yeah, no, it's fine. We have plenty of time. I was just expecting an in-person visit. That's all. Hence me generously asking if you wanted any chicken or salmon. But that's
I saw that.
neither here nor there.
Yeah, I felt a little bit bad about that. So
it's okay.
Yeah, we'll sort it out next time.
Yeah, it'll be okay. So, before we get into the meat and potatoes of our episode, which in case this is your first time joining into this program, which maybe you just picked episode, gosh, what is this, 17? Maybe you just jumped in at episode 17. That's a good number to jump into. All the kinks have been worked out for the most part with most programs anyway. But this is a show, it's loosely about pro wrestling. It's myself, Eric Donaldson. I'm introducing the topic of pro wrestling every single episode. Myself and my associate Ryan Murphy will watch a new wrestling match. We will document Ryan's thoughts, and then we will rank each match. And we'll also track Ryan's win and loss percentage as we go along as well. Would you say that's a pretty accurate summary of what we do here, Ryan?
That was spot on.
Perfect.
Yeah. So said.
And just to clarify, I think I know the answer, but again, just for the sake of anyone who may be jumping in for the very first time, have you been watching any pro wrestling in your free time between these episodes at all, Ryan?
I've seen it on TV more. Like, I don't know if it's because there's not a lot of content like on TV as far as sports, but like, no, not a lot, but okay, I have seen it on TV more. Just out of the blue, like Fox and ESPN. And so, yeah.
And the reason for this, just to kind of clarify, in case anyone, it's not because Ryan doesn't have a very vested interest in pro wrestling at the moment, which he certainly does. It's for science. In addition to this being a loosely pro wrestling based podcast, it's also a very scientifically based podcast. This scientific ranking that we are performing, we are going to be ranking the top wrestling matches of all time, according to Ryan Murphy. He is our what do they call that in science tests? You're our control. Is that what accurate to say?
Yeah, like a neutral party to
right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess that'd be good. Yeah.
You're the control in this scenario. So we want to keep our science hard. That's the reason why we're calling it the Hard Mark Podcast, because we're doing hard science, hard data. And so Ryan has vowed to not watch any pro wrestling. He will not be seeing any of it outside of this program. So that way we can make sure that his senses are sharpened and honed for each of these recordings.
Yeah, that's a tough sell for me, but I'll do it for the podcast. So
there you go. I mean, these are the types of sacrifices that you're making to the audience.
Yeah,
We all have some. Before we get into really our main subject here today, I know that we always like kind of breaking the ice with just some general topics. I know I haven't officially announced. Let me clear my throat for a moment. Ryan's Corner!
There's nothing more that I like than a fresh cut lawn.
In a little while.
No.
But I feel like just kind of me introducing these topics is basically Ryan's Corner.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm making my own.
Yeah. So just to kind of break the ice, set the stage, quick question for you, just off the top of my head. Ryan Murphy.
Yes.
Fast food. I don't know how. Do you eat a lot of fast food? You strike me as not someone who eats a lot of fast food.
Now, like in the last 6 years, almost never. But before that, a lot.
Okay.
Probably a dangerous amount of fast food before that. So
you were living the actual documentary Super Size Me, is what you're saying.
It wasn't that I ate it in greater quantities and even my stature would look like I would come home one night, and get 4 McChickens and a small fry or something like that. That would be a night.
How big? I've never had a McChicken before. Is that
on the dollar menu? So.
Oh, okay. So it's 4 cheeseburgers, basically.
Yeah. It's probably
that's a lot, but that's not an insane number of of burgers especially for like someone in their early 20s. Like you go out drinking, you're like, I want to eat fucking 8 of these, that sort of thing.
Well, I went out drinking a lot, so
I think that's been one of the sort of unsaid themes that I've noticed throughout this podcast is like you will tell all these drinking stories, but then be very sheepish about, but I really don't drink all that much. And like you'll always make a point to throw that in.
Have I said that in any of these?
Yes, you have.
Oh. I mean, you just went, okay, all right. You would know.
As I've been doing the editing,
That's
there's like little, not that I have like a drinking problem or anything, little bits of morsels like that. But the reason I ask about fast food, if you could create your perfect fast food meal, what would it be? And just for clarification, so I'm thinking, and granted, you may not necessarily have like a hunger level, but we're going to say that the fast food meal has to consist of a couple different things. There has to be some sort of beverage involved, and I will count a milkshake as a beverage in this scenario. There has to be your main sort of protein, whether that be like a cheeseburger or the chicken burger, whatever that you talked about, and there has to be a side. And I would allow up to 2 sides potentially if we needed to open up the floodgates for that.
So this is one of these questions that I feel like I could give an answer to, and then I'll like come back and I'll be like, "Fuck, I like totally missed something here that I really like." But so you want me to put together my meal right now?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, for the drink, like root beer, no doubt. Just
okay. Yeah. Can I give you a little piece of information about me?
What?
I don't know that I've ever drank root beer.
What?
I don't know. I don't ever recall. I've maybe had like a sip of root beer in my life, and I remember not liking it.
Even sure that's root beer is like.
Is it good?
The only people who.
Is it like Dr. Pepper?
Hold on. If the only people I know who like haven't had root beer either like in a long time or in their life, like are like pretty like opposed to drinking root beer for some, they think they don't like it, or you just haven't tried it and you're like not gonna go get some right now.
I mean, I don't drink. I don't really drink soda at all.
Same, but okay.
I'm sorry for upending that. But it seems like this is affecting you.
Coke and Pepsi and Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew and
well, is it root beer similar to like Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper, or am I off base on that?
No, I mean they're completely different flavors. I mean, I would just recommend like I don't drink a lot of soda either, but like if I'm drinking, like if I'm putting together a fast food meal, it's root beer, and like you should just go like try one, like go to the store and just get a root beer. That
is A&W root beer, is that any good?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Any root beer I think is good. I don't care which one it is, but it's just really solid soda. It's probably like if I'm gonna drink soda, it's gonna be a root beer, especially with like food. So that would be the drink. I like a good chicken, like a spicy chicken sandwich, like plain with jalapenos or something.
Okay.
Jack in the Box used to have, like back in high school, they had these like crispy chicken tenders that were like the best fucking things ever, and they took them off the menu. So if I could have a side of those, that's probably like enough.
Wait, you would do a chicken burger with a side of chicken tenders?
Yeah, for sure.
Huh.
I mean, I also like fries. Like I could, but like if I'm putting together my, I get 2 sides on this, then that's what I on the. So yeah, probably. But I like a good like crispy chicken sandwich, and a root beer and
a side of chicken tenders. So you'd go double chicken essentially.
I'd go double chicken. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of protein. You'd have the protein farts for a little while, I have a feeling.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm definitely like thinking like Jack in the Box throughout all of this. Like they have like chicken wise, I think they have the best stuff. No one really compares with them.
I literally just had a conversation with some friends of mine about how Jack in the Box is the lowest level of all fast food establishments.
For chicken though?
I never eat chicken at fast food. If I'm going to like go get whatever, it's typically going to be a burger and fries. If I go to Taco Bell, of course, then I'll not get a burger and fries. I'll do like a crunch wrap or something. But I don't know, outside of like a Popeyes chicken or a KFC situation, that I ever get fast food chicken.
Yeah.
Or Chick-fil-A. Sometimes not that I really go to Chick-fil-A all that often, but
Chick-fil-A does have like a pretty good chicken sandwich too. But that makes sense. I do want to throw out one more. I knew I was going to forget something. One of my favorite like fast food, like just burgers altogether for the people out here.
For the people.
Burger King has it's a rodeo burger.
Okay.
Have you ever had it?
No, I've heard of it though.
It's just like, I think it's like a junior Whopper size, and it's the burger. This is how I get them picky. I don't like mayonnaise and tomatoes and stuff like that. But it's like burger, onion rings, barbecue sauce. I put jalapenos and bacon on it. I think it naturally or normally comes with like cheese, and that's it. It is so. That's the best, I think, burger out there. The rodeo burger from Burger King. You have to have it.
We're not even getting we're open to conversations at Burger King, but we're not even getting a kickback for that. That was a very glowing endorsement you just gave.
I hope it was. It's hands down.
But are you picking that over the chicken sandwich?
I think if I were to go back, just like a Whopper size one of those, and just they have good fries too. Yeah, with a root beer. That's what I go with.
Okay. That's
walk
fair.
back my whole first part of it.
Well, that's fine. Well, it did seem
weird
that you were doing. Who do you think does the best fast food fries? I know you didn't choose fries, but what's your fast food fry pick?
I do like Burger King's fries too.
Interesting. I've always been kind of meh about them. Like for me, I think McDonald's fries, as far as like the national chains, they do very good fries.
I don't like them actually, and I know they're they're very different. For fries, I'm not sure how they can be so different, but they are very different. I'm not a big McDonald's fry person, but they're okay. I eat them.
Well, nobody's perfect, Ryan. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. A little bit of backstory about Ryan and his fast food preferences. That's what the people need. People need, some flavor, some illustration around, what stops you would make. Sounds like it'd be a Burger King and Jack in the Box deal for you.
Yeah, I think so. Probably Burger King though.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah. Sounds like that's the play. Get yourself a little cardboard crown and have a good time.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about our match. Let's not dilly-dally. I know we are running on a time limit. Not that, I have any time limits on our audience, but I know, Ryan, you're a double and even sometimes triple booked man. So you have a lot of important engagements that you need to attend to. So we're going to delve right into it. So do you remember what we talked about at the end of last episode as far as what we were going to be watching, Ryan?
I don't know. I got a text message from you saying we needed to watch something good this time.
I forgot that did actually happen. Yeah, I did realize, and again, no pressure on you because this is science-based. This is you are the control. This is all based on science. But I did notice upon reviewing our earlier episodes, there has been total and utter stagnation at the top and bottom of our rankings. You established in episode 2 the number 1 ranked match that we have had throughout every episode since. And then episode, was it 3? No, it was 4. Episode 4. No, it wasn't even that.
What was it, Eric?
Well, it was episode 3. It was episode 3. Episode 3 had the bottom ranked match, and that has not changed since then. So I really want, and I don't necessarily care if it's the top or the bottom, but I want something to kind of shift things up a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't
want you to do it just because you know that I want you to do it. I want you to do it.
You know that I wouldn't do that. I'd frank from the heart. So
right, too much integrity.
Right.
Too much commitment to the science. So yeah, I remember that I did message you about that. So also around our ranking as it stands right now, our top 2 matches of all time both come from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So today we're going to be watching another New Japan Pro Wrestling match. How's that strike you?
Did you hear? I said, "Fuck yeah."
Okay, good. Well, I didn't hear it, but I did hear it
No,
the
that
second time.
I'm a fan of just like pretty much anything Japan at this point, but their
I hear
wrestling
you.
matches have
What are
been
you typing? What are you typing right now?
nothing.
What do you mean nothing? What are you looking up? Are you
I
looking up?
am I looking at porn?
Yeah, well, listening to my voice.
I was looking up any like sort of Japan like just wrestling. I don't know why. I'm just
That seems borderline unscientific what you're doing.
well, I assume I'm not going to find the match, but I'm just looking up like what they're
I
trying to
don't
be
know.
more.
What are you looking up?
I just looked up Japan wrestling. Like that's
What
that's
did
all I
you
typed in.
find? What did you find?
Should I link something here or like?
Well, just tell me what you're seeing. You typed Japan wrestling, so what are you seeing?
Well, it's just a Google search, so it just says like I mean the first one is NJPW1972.com.
Yeah, that's New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's the company that we've watched the matches from.
Okay, well, shit. Let's see. I'm trying to see
All
if
right, I'm
there's
just going to replicate your search so I can see. Yep, Japan.
yeah
Pretty much all New Japan from the looks of it.
yeah most of it.
But
There's
they're
a
not the only
VR.
company in Japan. But yeah, pretty much everything on the front page is all about New Japan, which is really the main one that I follow as far as Japanese wrestling. But again, there's lots of Japanese wrestling companies if somebody was inclined to seek them out. But yeah, for the time being, we're going to stick with New Japan just because they're the most accessible and they're the biggest and they're the ones that I'm kind of the most familiar with. So with that said, there's a little bit of backstory on this match. It's probably not is extensive of a backstory as say like Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan because that was like a lot of backstory, but there's a pretty good sized amount. So I want you, Ryan, if you have questions or if you're just inquisitive about anything that I tell you, please let me know. Again, I can't see you, so you're just going to have to interrupt me.
I will do that. All right,
Thank
sounds
you.
good.
You've never had a problem interrupting me before, so I don't know why you would now.
Yeah.
Okay. So our match we're going to watch today, it actually happened in 2017, so a couple years ago. But the story behind the match actually started well before that. So a little bit of a history lesson. So throughout the 1990s, New Japan Pro Wrestling, most of their success that they had during that decade was based around the popularity of their three biggest stars. And I'm not going to bog you down with what those guys' names were, but collectively, they were named the Three Musketeers.
Is that like that's like an American thing, isn't it?
What do you mean? I mean, it's a French story.
Oh, the Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's a famous French story.
Okay.
And it's also a candy bar with nougat.
Yes.
I actually really liked Three Musketeers as a kid. I would actually eat the chocolate from around the nougat, and then I would just sort of eat just a bar of nougat at the end.
That's a way to do it.
It was just wet nougat, so I would chew the chocolate off, and then my spit would get all over the
Oh my God.
the nougat, and then I would eat just the nougat. It was disgusting.
That sounds disgusting. It's Grandma's favorite candy. I'll have to let her know that's how you're
Tell her to gnaw the chocolate off of the nougat and then just eat the wet, spit-soaked nougat. Okay. All right. So back to the Three Musketeers. So those three guys, they would frequently be feuding with each other, and they would also sort of align with one another over the course of the decade. So like a lot of the major storylines of the company were built around those three guys. And it was pretty popular. Like it was a very successful time in the company. But as the decade sort of drew to a close, and it got closer and closer to the year 2000, New Japan started looking for like the next crop of guys, like who are going to be the next stars to kind of lead the company moving forward. And so that entered in three new dojo graduates, younger guys that had just kind of gone through their dojo system. And these men were named the new Three Musketeers. And so one of those guys is going to be involved in the match that we're watching here today. So his name is Katsuyori Shibata. We'll just call him Shibata for the course of this episode. We'll make it easy on you.
Or cat.
I don't feel comfortable calling a grown man cat. So I'm just going to call him Shibata.
Shibata. Okay. All right.
Shibata. Katsuyori Shibata. So you can look him up if you... Well, actually, don't look him up. Do not look him up.
I won't.
Thank you. Yeah. I just... Don't look him up. So Shibata, you'll see him soon enough, but Shibata is a no-nonsense, straightforward fighter. Like, he wears black trunks, black boots. He's got short black hair. He's just like a tough dude that likes to fight. His nickname is the Wrestler because, again, that's what he's about. Like, his whole life is about wrestling and fighting and that whole thing.
His nickname is the Wrestler?
Yes, his nickname is the Wrestler.
Wow.
Because he encapsulates wrestling.
Okay. It's an impressive nickname. Yeah.
We might have to add it to your list once you are a good boy again.
If I earn it, we'll see.
You might. We'll see. We don't know until we run the facts and figures and go through the data. We don't know.
Right.
But he employs a barrage of different strikes. He's like really, really big into striking moves. He also does a lot of submissions. Overall, it's a very realistic style of pro wrestling. So you're not going to see a whole lot of like flips or anything like that. It is striking and submission-based offense that he does. To that point, his finishing move, so the move that he wins his matches with, it's called the PK, which any soccer fans out there knows that a PK is a penalty kick, which is a running kick to the face to a seated opponent.
Yikes. Oh, really?
Yeah. So the PK is his finishing move.
So they're like down and he just like running kicks to the face?
Yeah, so like they'll be seated in the middle of the ring and he will run to the opposite side, like bounce off the ropes and then run back and just kick them in the face.
That's nice. I like that. That's fucking classic Japan shit right there. Not fucking around, like, yeah.
I love, no matter what subject we're talking about, you're immediately an expert about it. And that's one of my favorite things about you. Classic Japan shit right there. So a little bit of backstory around Shibata. So very, very early in his career, within the first year or two of him wrestling, and this is actually something that I did not know until I was doing my research for the match, he actually hit another wrestler with an elbow drop. It sounds like it was like diving off the top rope, an elbow drop, which is a pretty standard wrestling move. Like you see that pretty frequently.
Yeah.
His elbow drop to this other guy put them into a coma, and that other wrestler died 4 days later.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I tried actually finding footage of this match. I couldn't find any. So I don't know just like if it was an accident or if he just hit the guy way too fucking hard. I really am not sure. But this elbow drop put the guy into a coma and then the guy ended up dying. You
couldn't find footage of... I'm also like, I thought if anyone was going to find footage, it would be you. But there's nothing.
Well, I mean, I only... I wasn't desperate to find it. I went on YouTube and like I did a quick Google search. I saw articles referencing this incident, but I didn't actually find any actual footage of it. Granted, this was like from 1999, 2000. It seemed like it was a relatively small show. There probably is footage out there somewhere, but for a lot of stuff like that, you have to kind of go to websites that I am not comfortable going to find it.
Do you think if it was an American like fight, it'd be easier to find?
Probably, yeah. I mean, there's been similar things that have happened in the United States where if you look hard enough, you can find footage of those types of things. But I just didn't care to.
No, I'm not. I don't. I'm just curious. Like, that's seems like Japan culture. Like that's an incident. You don't want that on like your, pro wrestling.
Sure.
I don't know. That's I thought,
You wouldn't want that to draw, you don't want that to draw a bunch of attention because that's obviously not a good thing. But again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know if the guy maybe rotated in a weird way when he was like waiting for the elbow. Who knows what happened? I don't know who's at fault or anything like that. Yeah. But so as the years went on, so New Japan kind of going along, it became a little bit more unstable in the company. So there was a time period where the leadership of that company, of New Japan, they became obsessed with mixed martial arts. Like they were really, really into it to an unhealthy degree for people that are running a pro wrestling company. And so what they started doing was they started cross promoting between the two different sports. So they would put MMA fighters in wrestling matches and they would have pro wrestlers in MMA fights.
I could see why that's interesting, but like I don't. I didn't actually. I didn't. I mean, I figured like mixed martial arts like would like originate like in that culture, but I didn't know. Like I thought it was like a kind of an American thing that like blew up over here.
Yeah, I mean, mixed martial arts was when UFC was starting to kind of come into its own in the late 90s. There was a
Yeah.
company in Japan called Pride that was like equally as big, and
Mm,
some of those Pride fights were brutal. Like they had less rules than they have in the United States. Like for example, there were all these crazy fights between people of vastly different weight classes. So MMA was super, super popular in like the early 2000s in Japan, just like it was in the United States.
yeah. Yeah.
But it was problematic, as you could probably imagine, to have MMA fighters in pro wrestling and vice versa, because more often than not, these pro wrestlers would lose their MMA fights, which would make them look weak and destroy their credibility. So that, makes it harder to take them seriously in a pro wrestling environment. And then the MMA fighters, they were super clumsy. Their footwork was bad and they were awkward at pro wrestling. And they just didn't have the showmanship and personality that they needed to get fans to actually give a shit about any of their matches. So it was just a bad marriage on both sides.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So around this time, so New Japan, because of all this, because like they really had no stars, they were just devaluing everybody. They were literally on the verge of bankruptcy. The company almost closed, and they were desperately in need of new superstars, new people that people would want to pay to see wrestle on their shows. And it was during this time when the company was on the verge of bankruptcy that Shibata left the company to both wrestle in other companies and, in an interesting twist, also start his own MMA career.
Oh.
So like
Yes.
when the company's like literally on its last legs, that's where he jumped. And so unlike in the United States, where it's pretty common for guys to kind of jump back and forth, they get a better contract offer, it's just business, whatever. This, both in the eyes of the fans and also in the eyes of the wrestlers, was an act of betrayal by Shibata. Basically that he had left the company that trained him and gave him his start, and then he left when the company was in dire straits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so fast forward 7 years later, Shibata's been off doing his own thing. New Japan is now profitable again. And that's because of a man who we haven't actually seen on the show yet, but his name's Hiroshi Tanahashi. You don't need to worry about memorizing that. He was one of the other members of the new Three Musketeers, and he became the big star that literally anchored New Japan and saved them from bankruptcy.
Is he going to be fighting or no?
He is not going to be fighting. So we will probably see him at some point, but he's not fighting here today. But yeah.
Sounds like a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's still around. He's still wrestling. But it was Tanahashi's popularity that single-handedly saved the company from collapse. And now that New Japan's doing better, now that we're in 2012, Shibata comes back.
Gotcha.
So company's doing a lot better. Here comes Shibata. And so when he first comes back to the company,
he comes back to the same. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
So they're on the verge of collapse.
Yeah.
One of the other guys that he literally trained with sticks it out, brings the company back from near bankruptcy. And now that the company's doing very well, now Shibata comes back.
That's a classic.
Classic move. It's one of my favorites. So expectedly, when he shows back up, the fans are pretty hostile towards him. Like they don't really want him there. They don't trust him. They think he's just going to end up leaving. And there's just bad will from the fans initially.
Sure.
Over the course of the next several years, he doesn't leave. He sticks it out. And so his tenacity and his refusal to back down from fights, and just the fact that he really does give it 100% when he's in the ring, and people can kind of see that. He earns the trust and the respect of fans. And so over the course of the next 5 years, he kind of repairs that relationship and becomes a very popular figure inside the company.
As he comes back when things are very good and they continue to be very good, he rides it out with the things being pretty good and the fans love him again.
Exactly. Yeah. Because Yes, the fans initially are very resistant, but he keeps having really, really good matches. He doesn't leave, and eventually the fans embrace Shibata and they forgive his quote unquote betrayal from years prior.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right.
And so eventually, and so this actually builds to the match that we're talking about right now. So that's kind of the backstory about Shibata. So finally, after 5 years back of the company, again, he showed back up in 2012. This is now 2017. He's earned a match, his first opportunity for the IWGP Championship, which is the top title in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is 13 years after the last time that he wrestled for that title.
Okay.
So like
WGP?
IWGP, which stands for International Wrestling Grand Prix, which is a completely made up governing body that New Japan just created just to make their title sound important.
It does. It worked.
Well, there you go, and you're the judge. So yeah, 13 years later, which again, like these things play a factor into the match, and so I wouldn't be telling you about these things unless like all of it was important to kind of be aware of, and so. In this title match, he is the challenger. Shibata is challenging for the title, and he's going to be facing the most decorated champion of the modern era, in my opinion, anyway. The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada.
Just gonna say Okada.
Yeah, just say Okada. You can look him up. That's fine.
We haven't seen him, right? That's name.
We have not.
Okay. All right.
We have not. So. Again, in my opinion, I think Okada is the greatest champion of probably the past 10 years or so. Like the dude just carries himself like a champion. He looks like a champion. He is an incredible wrestler. He's like an end boss in a video game. Like if you had to imagine who would be the end boss in a pro wrestling video game, in my mind, it would be like an Okada sort of figure. He's just so fucking good. So just to give you a little bit of backstory about Okada, again, his nickname is the Rainmaker because when he comes out to the ring, he does this pose and there's literally these dollars that will fall from the sky and they have his face on it. So these Okada dollars that he'll be showered in as he makes his entrance into the ring.
It's a nice touch. Yeah.
It's pretty good. But he also arrived in New Japan in 2012, but unlike Shibata, he was instantly catapulted into the main event spots. So he became the IWGP champion within 1 month of debuting within the company.
And it took Shibata 12 years to even get back, right?
Basically, yes. So it took Shibata like over a decade to get to this point. Okada literally within 1 month after he showed up within New Japan, he's the champion immediately. He actually beat Tanahashi, the guy that we referenced earlier, to win that title.
Well, shit. Shibata must be fucking pissed then.
So Okada's finisher, so we talked about the PK earlier, the penalty kick.
Yeah.
So Okada, his finisher is called the Rainmaker. So he basically will go behind the guy. He'll kind of wrap his arms around them. He'll spin them in front of him, and then he'll just clothesline them as hard as he can with his arm.
Does he throw fake money at them?
No fake money in the match. The fake money is all before the match. I mean, there's possibly been a match where he blinds somebody with like shredded Okada dollars, but I've never actually seen it. In short order, after Okada showed up within the company, he became like the face of New Japan. If you thought about New Japan, you would instantly think of Okada. He was basically like their Hulk Hogan, their Ric Flair, whatever parallel you want to draw to New Japan. Similar to Shibata, Okada employs a more realistic wrestling style. It's more traditional pro wrestling, but he's not going to be somebody that does a lot of flips. It's, again, more traditional mat-based stuff. But unlike Shibata, he adorns himself in golden robes and jewelry. And as we mentioned, he has those Okada dollars that rain down when he makes his entrance.
Yeah. Nice.
So last little bit that we'll talk about as far as this match is concerned. So at the time of this match, Okada was nearly 300 days into his fourth reign with the IWGP Championship. So he was quite literally, he was a legend, and he's 29 years old when this match happened. He's already fucking one of the greatest New Japan champions of all time. He's almost held this title for a year. He's the shit. Let's just say that. He's aces when it comes to all this.
Okay.
So he's the season champion. Going into the match, Okada was very dismissive of Shibata. He was supremely confident in his abilities, which why wouldn't he be? He's 300 days into his reign, and so he was basically disregarding the skills and the ability of the journeyman wrestler Shibata.
But we're underestimating how fucking pissed off Shibata is, right?
We're under, yes, there's a general tone. Now the fans, you'll notice that the audience and the crowd, now both of these guys are good guys. None of them are, even though Okada's kind of cocky, he's not like a bad guy, but you will notice that the fans are a little bit more pro Shibata than they are Okada.
Based on like the way this was introduced, like initially, I would have for sure thought like, and like it makes sense that well, not really, but like he for sure would have been the piece of shit who got his ass beat, like when he came back. Like he didn't stick it out through the bad times. And like,
yeah,
but the fans are on his side.
They are, because again, you have to remember, they absolutely hated him when he first came back, but this is 5 years later. He's been busting his ass and he's finally won them over. So it was like a Darth Vader type of thing where, okay, this guy's a bad guy and a piece of shit, but the more I see him, the more it's like, you know what? I fucking respect him.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And so that's the story behind this match. Anything else that you have any questions about before we watch this?
No, I'm excited. This was a good like hype session for the match. That was
all right.
Well stated. Yeah.
Last thing I will note, and I know I've kind of alluded to this a couple times, but the previous 2 New Japan matches that we watched have been like really, really athletic. These guys are high level athletes, but you're not going to see any flips or anything like that. This is more of like a story. It's like a Rocky movie in terms of what it is that you're seeing in this match. So it's more of a super physical. They will beat the shit out of each other, but it's not going to have a bunch of crazy flips.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So scientifically, just setting the stage for that. And with that said, I think that brings us to our quick commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada taking on Katsuyori Shibata, the wrestler. We'll be right back. Okay, all right. So we just watched Katsuyori Shibata versus Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship of the World. And let's just pull up our old list here. So Ryan Murphy, who going into our episode here today, had a 3-match win streak. Well, that 3-match win streak is no longer. Unfortunately, Ryan did not successfully predict the winner. The winner was the defending reigning champion Kazuchika Okada. Shibata was defeated via the Rainmaker. Ryan, your thoughts on the match?
That was a tie. It's just like these matches are so well executed, and like from the beginning to end, the way they introduce everything, the way the fans it's better. But that match was like pretty long, and like
you're talking about New Japan right now.
Yeah, like high quality shit. It's just like that match just like was drawn out a little bit, but it was more technical, and like there was those aspects to it. I wouldn't like I'll wait to.
Sure, yeah, and in fact, since we cannot see each other, I'm actually sending you a picture right now of our current ranking. So expect to see that in just a moment. But what were some highlights of the match? Like I have my notes. We don't need to go through blow by blow, just on account of it being pretty long. But what were some moments that stood out to you as we watched it together?
I mean, they used their legs more. some of the kicking like over like the ring, like his head's hanging over the ring, and just boom, boom, like one after the like relentless. Yeah. And like the back, they would go like instead of back to back, they would slap each other, which was, but they would also like throw like kicks back to back too.
Yeah. What did you think of those forearm exchanges that we saw a couple of throughout there?
I don't know. I feel like we see it in wrestling. Wasn't that impressive?
Even with the sound and the sweat flying off of them, you weren't even impressed.
The slapping was a little bit better.
Okay.
When they sat down to slap each other, that was you don't see that a lot, but that was quality.
Yeah, just some nice sit down slaps. Everybody loves a good sit down slap every now
Yeah.
and again. I have a bit of information as far as kind of follow up to this match. Would you like that? I'm just going to leave it up to you. Scientifically, do you think it would be better for me to tell you this bit of information now or wait until you rank the match first?
I think I should make an informed decision.
Okay. All right. So in that case, I will let you know one additional piece of information. So that match that we just watched, that was Shibata's last match of his career.
Oh, really?
Yes. So do you remember when I told you to crank the sound up and we saw that headbutt?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That headbutt gave Shibata a subdural hematoma,
Oh, shit.
which is essentially a pool of blood that pushes on your brain. As soon as he got backstage after this match, he collapsed due to both that and dehydration, and they had to rush him to the hospital where they performed emergency surgery and
He
saved his life. He did not die, but he could have very easily have died.
he looked kind of fucked up after he did that. Like he was like, "Oh shit!" Like
Yeah.
that wasn't how it was supposed to go.
But just for everyone who had not seen that match, which again, I'll make a point to post the link if it's available for everybody. But there is a point in the match where Shibata legitimately headbutts Okada just head on head, forehead on forehead. And then within, I'd say 5 seconds later, you see a trickle of blood just go down Shibata's
Yeah.
forehead down to his nose into his eye.
It
Brutal.
looked awesome. Like I mean, if
Yeah.
real authentic. Like, but I think he missed.
I don't know where he was that's not the only time he did that move fairly regularly. That was one of his sort of standby moves, which is probably what led to, him getting basically a brain
Yeah.
injury. But he was forced to retire. He will not, if I had to put money down, I would say he would not ever be cleared to wrestle again. But he is alive. He's actually a coach, a trainer
Oh,
for New
good.
Japan Pro Wrestling today.
I really like the guy. I was rooting for him, and I liked his demeanor and how he carried himself. Yeah, good quality.
Yeah. I imagine that's how you are at work. Just all business.
Yeah,
You're there to get right down to it. No flim flam or
yeah,
gussing it up.
yeah. Exactly.
So I sent you the list. Let me know if you have that in your messenger program.
I do. I do.
Okay. So what are we thinking, Ryan? Where are we putting this little piece of business?
Um, it- I mean, it was. I want to say like number 5.
Okay. So
Yeah.
between Andy Kaufman and Hart versus Jerry Lawler and above Dream Team versus Million
Oh,
Dollar
you
Team.
know what? I probably need to like. Can you give me just a quick rundown with the Dream Team again?
Yeah, Dream Team versus Million Dollar Team. That was two teams of four
Yeah.
against one another. The Million Dollar Team had the debuting of The Undertaker on their team. Meanwhile, the Dream Team had the American Dream, Dusty Rose, and Bret Hitman Hart. The ending was Bret Hart versus the Million Dollar Man. A little bit of back and forth. That was the match where Bret Hart's brother had died the night before, and then
Oh,
the next day he's wrestling a guy called The Undertaker, among other people. But it was just kind of a fun 4-on-4
yeah.
elimination tag team match.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe. I think there's a reason I put number 6. I guess I think number 6. Yeah.
Okay, so the
Behind.
bumping behind that above Charlotte versus Rousey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
To be like the match was like okay, but I just love how Japan like puts on a fucking like show like that. Like
right.
it's real. I mean the match was real, but like I don't think I have like the attention span to sit there and like
It was a long one. It was
yeah,
a good length of a match. I think it was like 40-ish minutes, 35, 40 minutes. And to be fair, we were experiencing some technical issues, would not have happened if we were in person. Not to, keep.
oh I went out, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got ourselves a new number 6. Anything else that you feel should be stated for the record about Okada versus Shibata for the title?
No, I thought I um No.
Okay. All right. So that about does it for this episode of the Hard Mark Podcast. As always, we're going to leave you with a little bit of Eric's wisdom tree, where I impart some knowledge that Ryan will always attempt to pick apart or chastise in some way. But just a quick reminder, I do not need to justify anything that I'm saying. This is just blindly saying something that I feel to be true in some regard, and I do not have to justify it if I do not want to, just so everybody's aware. All right, here it is. As a society, just as a group of human beings, can we all just agree that anyone who is named Kevin has to be renamed Greg at a certain age?
God, to Greg. What? Can we as a society agree that at a certain age, Kevin?
Yeah, I don't want to ever meet someone who's 70 years old whose name is Kevin. I think at around 45, that's the Kevin cutoff. And then it's like, okay, Kevin, now you're just Greg or Steve. You're just not, I don't necessarily care that it be Greg, but I just do not want to meet any old man Kevins. That is a child's name.
What? Kevin is a child's name?
Yes. There should not be any adult men, middle-aged people or older with the name Kevin.
So I understand what you're saying, but like, I get the idea of what you're saying. It makes sense,
Okay.
but I don't like the particular name you're choosing. Doesn't really make me. I don't know that name doesn't make sense. There's like other names that would better fit what you're saying, I think.
Well, not that I care about your opinion, because this is Eric's wisdom tree and not Ryan's wisdom tree, but just out of curiosity, what do you think better suits that?
Like Ron.
What?
Or like I'm trying to think of Donald or something like.
What the fuck? These are old man names that you're saying.
Oh,
Ron
sorry.
is an old man's name. Donald is an old man's name.
Hold on. Let me back up. Maybe I'm thinking about this. Okay, so Kevin is too young, right?
Kevin is a child's name.
Okay, you're right. I am flipping this around. Okay. I still get the concept, but I'm thinking of it backwards.
Yes, you are.
I think, yeah, but that's what we do anyway. We recycle names and we don't use them anymore. Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
You're thinking about this like Benjamin Button. I'm saying that if I name my child Kevin, then when they turn, I'm just arbitrarily saying an age, 45. When they turn 45, they are legally not allowed to be Kevin anymore. They need to change it to an adult person's name.
But I just don't think I also don't think Kevin's that like much of a young name. Like Kevin's kind of like if you look to see when like Kevin was a popular name, I bet it was like there's some older Kevins now, like in their 50s, like a lot of them, 50, 60.
Well, there fucking shouldn't be. Is the point that I'm making. As a society, they're out to change it.
I get your point. You
go to the DMV, they're just like, oh, yep, no, it's time. Yeah, you're renewing your license. It's time to change it, Kevin. You're fucking I don't know what's a name. You're Larry now, Kevin.
Yeah. Okay. Point taken.
That's Eric's wisdom tree. So just think about it, world. Think about renaming Kevins when they reach a certain age.
Yeah.
As a society, we make this agreement that there should not be any 50-year-old Kevins.
Yep. Okay. I think well stated.
Thanks. Thank you. And with that, I think that wraps up our session here today. We'll see what happens next episode. I have a couple matches in mind. We'll see what we end up doing. This will probably be the last of the virtual Hard Mark episodes for the last little bit. So if you like hearing our smooth, sultry tones in person, well, then you're probably going to be in luck. But we'll see how this whole pandemic thing shakes out. But yeah. So anyway, I guess with that said, anything you want to impart to the listeners before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good. I think we had a great episode tonight. We got allotted plenty of time.
Is that what you thought? Okay. Yeah, well then I'm sure everyone else thought that too. So everybody, if you're not hard, get hard. And once you get hard, stay hard. Take it sleazy, everybody.
That's fucking classic Japan shit right there.